Still looking to earn your invite for the free Players Championship? Visit ppgeventmanagement.com to learn about the different qualifiers available. From one-day events to play-on-your-own-schedule events, all events offer a buyback or cash option along with a 100% credit option redeemable towards any future pre-order at competitive prices. Grinding and getting paid to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Has never been easier. Play with the most professional worldwide tournament series today and join the online community. Come join us on Discord for assistance, info, and even discussions about future events.
Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, with the Pro Play Tour Origins weekend. I am unfortunately SEMO-less, but fortunately joined by a familiar face, Dale13, who has been by my side for the past 5 rounds, entering into the 6th. How are you doing on this wonderful Saturday?
Super good right now. I mean, just being able to see a urgent schedule in the graveyard kind of makes me know, and you already mentioned before this one started, that this could be Orcust Mechana, and I'm super hyped to see this deck in action.
Right, we've seen a lot of strategies make it to the forefront of this tournament. A lot of Salamagreat, a reasonable amount of Guru, shockingly, despite the fact that the deck is generally not well positioned against the remainder of the meta. A significant amount of Madolche, but this is the first Orcust build we are watching today. Bosh Bosh is on the bubble. If they can take this one, I think, and not promising anything here, but I think they will make it into top 8. We are cutting to top 8 here, and we will be doing those rounds immediately after the conclusion of this one. We're going to knock it all out in one day. I would really like to see this deck make it. It's super cool. I think Orcust is a strategy that people expected if the top 2 decks were completely removed from contention. They would come to represent the metagame, and instead what's happened is literally nothing. They have not placed in any sort of competitive capacity using the PPG ban list. They have, despite the fact that they have Orcust Girsu, not really added anything to the format. I don't know what's happening. I couldn't explain it. I have no idea. But hopefully Bosh Bosh can remedy that sad state of affairs.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love the interactions that they share with the Mechana engine. Such a nice kind of interaction. And exactly the same with you. I honestly thought that they would be doing a heck of a lot more right now. I thought they had the potential to, even on this list, to sneak in, catch a lot of people off of guard. Yes, okay, the loss of Part Horror was pretty massive, but the inclusion or the introduction of Girsu definitely gives them another notch. I just think they're quite fragile, so the right hand trap at the right time just watches them crumble.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw urgent schedule getting met with an Ash Blossom, walling the entire Orcust turn, and they might actually just straight up be dead here as the Salamagreat player goes into what I expect will be an update jammer into a transcode talker. Oh, Splash Mage, jeez. Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. But this Orcust list is interesting in particular because it looks like it aims to blind second and leverage cards like Lightning Storm and Urgent Schedule to make up the loss from going first. When things like Adamancipator and Synchro Eldritch aren't in the format, it is not as difficult to go second, and as a result, they can get massive swings by virtue of not only those cards, but also Mechanite Purple Nightfall and Blue Sky searching Mechanite Orcust Girsu, who is a fantastic combo starter. So I think ideally that's what they want to be doing. In practice, they're just being walled by decks like this one.
Yeah, I mean, I love the interaction with the Mech Knights and Blue Sky. And exactly like you just said, that they're just sadly not able to do it. And the Ash Blossom on an urgent schedule straight away just says, nope, okay. And it was enough to make the player just go, okay, that's my turn over. And like you said, they're probably going to run straight into a double attacking access code talker that's going to finish this game off.
What a miserably bad boss. 5,300 double attack. Now, for what it's worth, this might not be the end of the game. If they have a Gizmek Orochi in hand, they could still survive the turn, and then that access code talker has literally no protection. We'll, at the very minimum, take 5,300 here. Oh, they're
Are we
talking
about
about it pretty quick.
Is there a Nibiru? Is that it? Is we going to try and go back to main phase for a Nibiru?
That would really do it. Oh, and as expected, here's the Gizmek. Okay. Well, Access Code Talker is not a particularly powerful boss in its own right. It's really good at cleaning up board states that are kind of scattered, but it's got no protection. It's just a big donkus. They're going to attack into this copy of Gizmek, but proceed to main phase 2. While they won't be able to use Gizmek to out the access code, they will be able to bring it back for material for something like a scrap. I mean... Oh, and a pass back. They could do this.
This would be something special to see. Because, I mean, the whole entire Salamagreat board went into that access code talker. So anything, absolutely anything that lets this go. I mean, we're going to get the Orochi back for sure. Sadly, not strong enough to deal with access on his own. But if you're then able to get into at least a Galatea, you just go ding, send, and you're back in the driver's seat.
Ooh, Scrap Recycler is a heck of a card, and even if the opponent has an Ash Blossom or an Effect Veiler here, you can just bring back the Gizmek and link summon a copy of Scrap Wyvern, provided you didn't accidentally banish your copy of Golem. You should have the necessary stuff to link climb from there. Okay, there's the Ash Blossom as expected, and next comes back the Gizmek. Again, the most important part of this card is not its effect, but its name. By being a Scrap, it enables a summon of Scrap Wyvern. Scrap Wyvern's effect is Killer, going second. So from here, I think they just are able to pop Access Code Talker with that.
Yeah, I mean, that certainly deals with that boss monster. And then at this point, usually when a Salamagreat player goes into Access Code Talker, they've gone into it because they feel they've got the kill. They feel that it is now game over. And then the second you're hit with some way of, your opponent surviving that one shot, I mean, it can really put your resource management into question.
Looking at the extra real quick, I guess there are a set of banished cards that would turn off some of these plays. If you banished literally every Orcust card in the graveyard, it would be quite bad, or in the deck, but seems unlikely. Again, the Salamagreat player has really just invested so much into this play. So we're going to be able to target a Scrap monster in the graveyard, bring it back, and then destroy a card you control. Of course, it will be the Recycler. And that'll trigger the effect of the Wyvern. Is the fridge still in the deck after all this? No, it's not. All right. Well, Scrap Recycler is a fine get. We'll destroy the Access Code Talker, then trigger the effect of Recycler. We can still go into Galatea, and then afterwards go into a Dingirsu. Although we might be able to win the game, provided get something that can be summoned twice.
I mean, that would be impressive to turn it around from, okay, I'm about to lose to you're going to lose.
Oral Sword is a hell of a card.
I mean, that's obviously an interesting one. The old meta's boss Link 4 versus the new meta's boss Link 4.
We're sending an Orcust Nightmare, so we are locked from summoning anything other than dark monsters as soon as we activate that effect. I can't help but feel as if the constant looks back at the banished pile are complicating things. Galatea much less good when you can't search something like a Babel or a Crescendo. But we likely still will be going into it over the course of this turn.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's many more options. I would feel bad for him if all of his options have been banished, or most of his options have been banished. Trying to see what the Salamagreat player's got to come back. There's Falco Jag. He's gone through all 3 Baylings, which is very interesting because it means he needs to get 2 monsters on board just to make a second Heat Leo in order to recycle or get the Jag, which is a massive ask.
It's so weird the way this game has played out. I'm shocked. I mean, this is a scenario you really only get to in this matchup in particular. Just these extremely weird recursive engines that play very well against each other, but can easily find themselves in situations like this where like everyone's expended everything and now we're just kind of twiddling our thumbs looking at each other. Trisbana the summon? What on earth? I mean, okay. Code of our own. We're going to send a copy of Skeleton here and go to battle phase. Walking in with the Trizbana. What is going on? Oh, and correctly identifying a Nibiru is just seconds from coming down. There goes the Trizbana, and here comes a token. Unfortunately, the Nibiru does walk over the token in this instance, but I don't know how much it matters, truthfully.
I mean, the Nibiru definitely keeps him in.
Because I forget, Amirage is a Salamangreat monster. Right, so we'll bring back this copy of Jaguar. That's 3 materials. There's got to be a way to game from this position.
Yeah, I think there's enough to do it. It's just seeing it kind of come together.
Do we have another powerful link for outside of access code talker in the extra? I know space in Salad's extra is a little tight.
I'm trying to think where else this goes. I mean, Orochi's only going to save you so long.
This is weird, right? Like, doing it in this particular scenario means that your opponent's really shoehorned into what they can summon from the extra. They're going for a Sunlight Wolf. Is it possible they're just out of relevant stuff? Like, the extra deck could easily be, like, 2 rank 4s for, like, very specifically, what's the name of the card?
Parallel Exceed?
Yeah, Parallel Exceed setups. And then, like...
I mean,
there's at least 2 copies of Sunlight Wolf in there and 2 Heat Leo. So if it was 2 Heat Leo, 2 Sunlight Wolf, 2 rank 4s, they really don't have anything to go into.
Yeah, I think that's just the commitment on the... I mean, next turn, the Gizmet banishes 3 from the extra, clears off the Nibiru, which is the danger card at the moment. I suppose you try and keep Wolf alive as much as you can until you get into a Heatleo, and then try to reduce the attack of the monster to 0 is probably the best route.
So cheesy. One player is out of cards in their deck, and the other is out of cards in their extra. I guess you're right that Salad probably wins a long game in that scenario. Okay, Blue Sky's good, but just as a card that clears Sunlight Wolf, not really as anything else. Do we even have targets remaining in deck? Oh, it's going to be met with an Ash, so apparently we did. Tribute summoning Scrap Golem. It wasn't banished, it was in the hand!
What?
Oh my god. Why would you tribute summon that monster and not Blue Sky? Why would you not activate the effect first? I don't know. Can we borrow for victory here?
Oh, well, there's a Symbol Skeleton engraved. That brings back Gearsu.
That's cool.
Go into Galley. Go into Ding. Ding sends the wolf, so you don't have to worry about having to... Well, I suppose you don't worry about it floating, but yeah, Orochi can definitely come back. Definitely Ding play to send any threat, or you just go straight Borrel. Skeleton brings back Gearsu. All 4 on the board into Sword. Bring back Orochi. Sword into Wolf. Or Sword into Nibiru.
To 45, right?
Yes. So
327.
So 3k would be over Nib. And then, 3k over Nib. And then he'd be swinging in for 4-5 over Wolf.
It'd be 57 total. There's probably a way using that.
I mean, this might be one of them situations where you just let Wolf die rather than trying to keep him on the board with the Gazelles. But then even then, there's nothing you can do after that. You let Wolf die, your board is going to be clear.
Those two to the graveyard for Galati, sure. Now we are not really at risk of decking ourselves. Looks like we can put back the skeleton doing this. Is there a world in which we figure out a way to out the Nibiru? We can use the Galati to send the Sunlight Wolf. If we send the Sunlight Wolf, do we just straight up win?
And Wolf.
Silenced, I have news, is undefeated with Madolche Guru after 6 rounds of contention. Are you kidding me? What a stupid deck. I mean, congratulations to you. I will definitely be purchasing those cards to supplement my own Guru deck because it's hilarious. And it looks like Titcom, who we saw beat a Striker player previously, has also won, meaning there will be at least one Salamangreat in top 8. Jason Leonard, despite losing that Top Cup match, is still X1, so there will be a Dino as well.
Nice. Dino, Salad, and then the Dolce Guru.
Oh my gosh. I don't have anything to say about that. Congratulations, Silence, but what on earth? Dingirsu here, that sends the Sunlight Wolf, and prompts the Gazelle from the hand. That's fine, but like you're just putting up a wall at this point. Do we have access to... We don't. Damn. And as much as I like this, I can't help but feel as if you had activated Orochi earlier in the turn to get rid of the Nibiru, you would be in such a better position. Like, we just sent Orochi to the graveyard without activating any effect of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to have a... Where else does this now go? Was the thing to send Wolf really worth it? I mean, you're only going to protect the other two. You're going to just go... Has he got an access code?
If we have an access code line, that's quite good, but I don't know if we do. How many monsters we have in the graveyard? We have a Dark and an Earth.
Because it would only be 23 as well. And then it would only be able to get rid of the Nibiru and one of the Salads. And then just by attacking it, it will get protected by Bailings. So it wouldn't really go anywhere. I think the mistake was actually making Ding.
Orcust is one of those decks where, like, you've got so many decision points, it's almost impossible to determine where you've screwed up or what you've messed up. But yeah, I think you're right. Getting rid of link material with this few options just seems like a recipe for disaster. Walking in with Cap Golem, they can get rid of everything in the graveyard, but exactly every Salad on field they can get rid of. It looks like they're triggering the effect of Falco here to get Rage back to hand. Is there a Rage in here? There's literally no Salad spell or trap. Fine. They get to clear the board, but they haven't outed the Nibiru. Again, just feel like if they'd used the Orochi, they could, at the very minimum, threaten lethal on the following turn. Now they're in a position where, like, if they Orochi, they have to win within exactly one turn or they lose.
Yeah, I mean...
This is rough.
This is weird, because then Nibiru's just going to... If he leaves Blue Sky on the board, Nibiru's just going to crash over that for a K. We've got Cerberus. Oh, IP.
IP's cute. I don't know what it does.
I mean, the Crescendo's weird as well. We've got the Crescendo with... Is he going to try and make it... No.
You think they're going to try and make a Galatea?
That or a long Grisu, but even
Galatea, I guess, is okay. It can be linked to the Nibiru, so it won't be destroyed by battle. But it's it's a really crusty line. All right, looks like we're attempting to end the main phase here. We are going to go into Galatea linked to the Nibiru, but of course the onus is on Blitzkrieg to link off that Nibiru, take it out of the linked Galatea zone, and then to not be able to destroy it by battle. We're taking a lot of damage here. It's okay. It gets back Falco here too, maybe. Yeah, that's what's happening.
2 wolves left.
Really a good way to get to Wolf based on the information. Like a face-up Speller Trap.
I've seen one spinny, but
whatever that was. There's the Sanctuary, so we do have a face-up Speller Trap. We can pitch the Jaguar to bring back this copy of Uxie, and we can bring back the Jaguar at a link point. But you need a Salad Link monster, and I don't think we have a way to get to one. All 3 Balinxes are in the graveyard. They're not on 2 Almirage. Even if so, they don't have the necessary material for it.
I mean, a Will of the Salamangreat would be pretty spicy right about now.
Will would win it. Will would win the game, yeah. Just a thinker.
I mean,
sure. Turn off Cosmic Cyclone, I suppose. But the Galatea gamble paying off. Okay, now time for the ultimate question. The question that will haunt me forever. Do you activate Gizmechirochi at end step?
the only time to do it, but
they didn't do it. They blinked. So they could have done it and prevented themselves from decking out by recurring the Symbol Skeleton with the Galatea, but it's not good. It's probably not very good.
I mean, the only thing I can possibly imagine is that he wants to use that Crescendo for some form of search. The chances are he might have top decked the card that he was about to search off the Crescendo. A second ding deals with the Nibiru, starts getting some damage in.
This is so whack. This is like the worst setup ever. Your opponent is going to be able to start accessing their Sunlight Wolves after this. You do have to put the pedal to the metal and start walking over a lot of the stuff your opponent is trying to do right now.
Dings and
23 minutes remaining in this round. Wow, they're dragging out this game 1.
okay. So, let's get on board. 18. 40.
And another result, Vincent Yen on Madolche, it looks like has also made top 8. So we might be casting a Madolche Mirror, of all things. Really thinking on this one. Oh my god. Well, that explains it. Mind control. Have they found lethal? If they overlay for... I've got 45 available. Oh, they're going for it. 0 cards in deck! Let's go! Oh my god, okay. Alright, they're going to shuffle the symbol skeleton back with Galati. They go into Ding, I expect, to eat the Foxy, but we still have to find a way to get this Nibiru, translate this Nibiru into something powerful. Whoa, is this an access code? Dog, that is not lethal.
What is going on?
I thought, Taylor on the access code.
Wow.
Oh, wow, that's so miserable. Oh, God. The set card are called by. That's the only way in which this still works. We'll go to battle phase. It's going to be, what, a 53? I am pretty sure that you can't respond to the gain effect, but you can do it afterwards. So it might still be 45, but... Wow, this is miserable. Passing back to his opponent. Foxy on field is better than if it was in the graveyard. But you can use Falco here to return it to the hand, then normal the Foxy, go into Sunlight Wolf, and from there you can go into YuGiOh and win the game. Wow, what a fortuitous last card in hand. And I feel like that was one of the very few lines that actually lost Bosh Bosh the game.
Yeah, that's... oh, so confused. I mean, you go Wolf reincarnates. Jag comes back.
You don't even have to reincarnate the Wolf. Just the YuGiOh is enough to win the game, I believe. Wow. From the jaws of victory, our Orcust player has found defeat. Congratulations to them. It is no easy task. Out comes the Sunlight Wolf, out comes the Jack Jaguar. Put back one of the goddamn Balinxes. Put back the Almirage, even less respect. That's got to be exactly Solemn Judgment set.
Ooh, okay. So the chat has just pointed out that Falco should actually be banished. If it was negated with Crescendo, but does it have to be on the? Does it have to be negated and negate the activation? If you do banish,
does it have to be negated on the field?
Negates the activation.
If they were activating the graveyard effect, does it work that way?
That could have been
well, regardless.
Oh well. Okay.
Well, you know what they say, folks. It's an accepted game state. And Bosh Bosh admits defeat. That was hard to watch. I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. That was extremely hard to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I think both players should have seen that as well on the Falco. So, ooh, going into game 3. Well, game 3, game 2.
Game 2. We are literally going into game 2, and Chad is correct. When Falco's negated in the graveyard, it's not banished. It's just a question of where it was being activated, which of course the players would have a better knowledge of than us, as by virtue of like actually being in the game. The round 6 results. Oh, dang! I have bad news, chat. Rusty008, our good friend piloting Chaos Thunder, has lost their last round. I think they are still a lock for top because they were at table 2, but I am not exactly sure. So they will be on the border, I believe. They lost to the Invoked Shadow player, who will be making it to top. Maybe I'm wrong. Chat says it is banished. Listen, if you ever need a judge, you know who to call. Someone else. Lady Debug activating here, getting a copy of Salamangreat Gazelle. This card back to 3, huh? We're going to go into a copy of Balinx, most likely. And then from this position, of course, we can do just about anything under the sun. We'll trigger the Gazelle in hand either from a reincarnation summoned Balinx or by virtue of one of our 70 different ways a Salamangreat can make it into the graveyard. We are going for the former, reincarnation summoning the Balinx, so we can get this Gazelle out of our hand. And shocked to see that despite all of what happened last game, Bosh Bosh still going second. They drew the Phantasme, which is killer against Salamangreat. It is super difficult for them to deal with this card in particular. Right, and it looks like after some exciting combo play, we're going to go from this into a another copy of Sunlight Wolf. If we've already burned our reincarnation summon, no big deal if we can summon enough Salamangreats over the course of the turn. That gets the Rage back, and unfortunately, while Rage does target, its second effect targets a monster you control, not one your opponent controls. So that Phantasme is just extremely useless, but the Nibiru certainly isn't. That Sunlight Wolf and that Phantasme go to the graveyard. An 1800 defense token will be produced. Easy pickings for a Nibiru. Wow, this is just the bane of Salamangreat's existence. And while this board isn't conducive to something like an urgent schedule, boy is it great for Purple Nightfall. Purple Nightfall here in the double zone. Going to be activated and grab a Blue Sky. Blue Sky will draw 2 by virtue of that really fortuitous zone, unless the Salamangreat player decides to shotgun this copy of Rage, preventing their opponent from getting the column active. Spell. Unfortunately, their opponent not only has a spell, it's the best spell in this scenario. Urgent Schedule. It will summon from deck an Earth Machine that is level 5 or higher, and an Earth Machine that is level 4 or lower. Now, as far as I know, there's only 1 or 2 targets for the 5 or higher. Fridge, I believe, is an Earth Machine. It might be Rock. And Machina Fortress. Fortress and Scrap Recycler can go into Scrap Wyvern, and now we can just do Scrap combos before even committing to something like Blue Sky. Finish this copy of Scrap Recycler. No big deal. There's still a lot of play to go, provided there is a spell or trap. Oh my god, and we haven't committed to a normal. Girsu is just about the best possible one we could find. All right, by using the effect of Girsu, we can send an Orcust or a World Legacy from deck to the graveyard, and there's just a ton of great targets for that. Nightmare Orcust, of course, is the best. We'll get a lot of information based on what the send is. So Orcust Nightmare is a little bit frustrating. you've got some cards in your hand you want to summon, and if you activate Orcust Nightmare's effect, you're not going to be able to for the remainder of the turn. Lancia activated in response to Danger Thunderbird. And wow, this Salamangreat player has everything except for a way to beat Nibiru. Ain't that always how it be? Let's see if they hit it. American Sniper. They've selected the card. Will you be sending it to the graveyard? This isn't even fantastic, right? Like, you prevent the Orcust Nightmare, but they already have access to so much. I think I would have activated the Lancia on activation of the Purple Nightfall effect instead of trying to, like, get them to commit to an Orcust Nightmare. They already have the necessary material on field to make Galatea. You probably want them to have fewer cards in hand. All right, they're rolling real quick, and it's going to be a 1, picking the same card. And I would bet that that's the Thunderbird. It is. They're not going to be able to destroy any set cards, as there are none, but still not a big deal. From here, we can go into Galatea, get a field spell or a crescendo, and pop off here. All right, there's Galatea. Now, unfortunately, that rock token has 1800 defense, so it won't be able to be walked over by her. Galatea can target any banished machine monster, and would you look at that, Scrap Recycler was banished by DD Crow.
Crazy synergy.
This has been a ridiculous setup. The Orcust player just drew everything, and by setting a copy of Crescendo in the same zone as the token, they can now special summon this copy of Mekk-Knight Blue Sky. No reason to even worry about the stipulation on Nightmare Orcust. If your opponent has cut you off from activating its effect with a Lancia anyway, get another Gear Suit to hand, and yeah, this is insane. Out of the battle phase, we will be able to walk over the 1800 defense token with the Blue Sky, get indirect for 18, and we could pass from here. It's really extremely strong. Looks like that's what will happen. Those two cards in hand are going to have to be pretty good. We know that the graveyard is just about nothing going for it, with the exception of Jack Jaguar and the Gazelle that is locked in there by 2 copies of Sunlight Wolf and a Baylynx. Woof.
Yeah, I mean, I never say never, but it is definitely... Nope. Definitely say never.
Yeah, and that's going to be the end of game 2. I mean, that was kind of textbook. That's what the Orcust player wants to do every single game. Go second, chew through an established board on the back of something like a Nibiru, Lightning Storm, or an evenly matched, and walk with it by virtue of just having 57 different play starters. I do think if Blitzkrieg had used their hand traps a little bit more proactively, they might have been able to walk with that set. Holding that Lancia forever, I don't understand it. But you know, that's the way it be sometimes, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely interesting. Nice to see Orcust bounce back after that game 1. It's going to be interesting to see where both these players end up. I mean, Salads are definitely going to go first and try and control the board. But as you mentioned at the start, Bosch is playing blind go second. He actually welcomes this. Let's hope his board doesn't feel as fragile as that one Ash did last turn.
Yeah, certainly. So, real quick, I think I can make some predictions about top 8. Jason Leonard, X-Silenced, Mike Volpe, and Musty008, I think, are all locks for top 8. Christian Penagos, I think, won the win-in, and as a result is a lock for top 8 as well, as is Alex Titcomb. From then on out, it's individuals who are X2 or better. So a lot is up in the air in terms of who could snatch the last 2 or 3 slots. Recycler is a good start. Blitzkrieg making his opponent go first probably did not want to see that open. To the graveyard. Folks, we're going into Halqifibrax.
Oh, if only.
This deck doesn't need anything else. They've got enough.
Where does it go? Like, I mean, I suppose you just go Scrap Wyvern, do the whole Scrap combo, and then just build up from there.
I'm not even summoning the shame. All right, let's fire off the Wyvern. And Phantasme, the summon. I almost don't like that.
No?
Like, maybe? It kind of sucks because, unless you have, like, a Nibiru specifically, your opponent's going to be able to, use the effect of Scrap Wyvern to destroy their opponent's Phantasme instead of their own card, which is usually the downside to doing the Scrap Wyvern play going first. Trigger the effect of Scrap Wyvern. If they have something like an Ash, it makes a lot of sense. All right, and there goes the Phantasme. The hand sculpting is immaculate, but now we get to keep every card on our side of the field. Does not target. Hilarious. And then we'll activate Golem to bring back the Scrap Recycler. This is 6 summons, so if you had Nibiru, you'd probably want to fire it off before your opponent gets to actually activate Recycler.
Yeah, it gets to the point of no return where everything starts being set up. There's graveyard capabilities as well, so I completely agree.
We're going all the way here. Because we sent a copy of World Wand, we can now go into Lib the World Key Blade Master. That's going to get, I would imagine, a set copy of World Legacy Succession here. That'll be set and then probably activated immediately after Link Summoning. We can go into an Appaloosa for 2. That will lock the extra deck. The hand of our Salamagreat friend before activating Succession, getting back Scrap Golem, and then using Scrap Golem's effect in order to get back Recycler. Recycler triggers once again. This is trigger number 2. The Orcust Nightmare going to be activated after we have already summoned everything that we want to that isn't dark. This is a fantastic start. A Foolish Burial also in the grip. My god. Do you have enough there?
Yeah, I think he cherry-picked his hand on this one. Definitely needed it.
Oh man, sending a copy of Gearsu, that's so strong. I'm gonna fire off the Mothman here? Or discard the Mothman for... No idea what you discarded for. Oh no, they're just firing the effect. Pitching the top card of their deck, it's an urgent schedule, giving their opponent a draw as well. They're pitching a Foxy, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a nice technical free summon next turn of the Foxy, but I think by the time he gets a chance to do that, there's going to be too much locking it down. We're going to end up getting the Orcust play that we need, Galley into Crescendo, and you're sitting on 2 Monster Negates plus the Crescendo, so I would not be surprised if we see normal summon like Jag just to get rid of that Appaloosa.
God, this is frustrating. I was like, why did they send a Symbol Skeleton? That doesn't make sense. Oh, because you can reborn Gearsu with Symbol Skeleton, of course. No reason to go through the World Wand line if you can just do that. Go to Galatea here, activate Galatea's effect, put back this copy of Jet Synchron, very fun. Do we actually have a Babel in deck? We do. All right, Babel will be set here and then activated. And I guess we can go into another Orcust monster here by banishing this copy of World Legacy World Wand. We can get back this copy of Symbol Skeleton. Could go into a Ding, attach this copy of Nightmare, and then make, I don't know, is there a link to that disrupts the opponent?
Maybe something that helps you jump into something that can then disrupt your opponent.
Yeah, I think we're likely to see the Orcust Nightmare equipped and then the Link Summon of an IP Masquerena as well. If we do it without using the Dingirsu, we could protect everything from Lightning Storm as well. This is such a silly start.
Who thought Orcust still had this in their locker?
Twin Twister, the set card, just revealing it. I don't know if that was intentional. All right, those to the graveyard for an IP Masquerena. And I think that's going to be the end of the turn. I don't know what else Scrap Recycler could do.
Yeah, I'm interested that they left Scrap Recycler on the board. I thought he would have exactly what you said, leave the Ding there. I suppose the only thing you keep by putting Ding in the graveyard is the skeleton comes back to disrupt.
I mean, you're going to have skeleton access over the course of this turn anyway, I feel. I'll go the start.
The only thing that I can possibly fathom is that he's going to shotgun Appaloosa on both the first negates he gets a chance to, and then link 4 into Zero Boros. Just you can trigger off. How cool would that be?
I mean, that is something that Orcust does. It's one of the very few decks that kind of has access to a consistent Zero Boros, and while it really does have a problem interacting with it, it looks like you are right. We are going to negate the effect of Spinny. That's one of the two. This will force a commit in the terms of a normal summon. It will absolutely feed to negate. Although I think all we get here is the Balinks and the Parallel Exceed as well. Wow.
Rething.
Okay. Negating the effect of Parallel Exceeds on field effect?
I mean, any effect you want to stop with Parallel Exceeds, you can't really afford for that card to give your opponent more resource. Straight away, that would have been at least an access code with 1 pop, and that's before you start climbing up through everything else.
Kind of crusty. Like, you have to commit more to the board if you're the Salamagreat player, and if you do, it's just ripe for the Zero Boros. It looks like in main phase 1, they're prompting battle. They are going to Masquerena here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're going to go for the Arrival at Ignister. Nope, just this Topologic, not Zero Boros, but Trisbana.
I mean, I don't see Trisbana being a massive threat right now.
Nope.
I suppose maybe if the field spell gets dropped, but
Great player, I probably summon it to the Trisbana zone, because that's a mandatory effect and gets rid of the Babel. So if they have any Orcust stuff they want to activate it, they have to do it right now. And it looks like that is actually time in the round, shockingly. So this might resolve as a tie. If it does, oh, I get it. It'll resolve in a tie if they're able to make it out of main phase 1 without taking damage. But Trisbana does burn based on the number of the opponent's cards that are banished by their own effect. So if they can figure out a way to make their opponent take damage, they win. Otherwise, neither of these players are making it to top 8. Their breakers are just not good enough to sneak in at X2-1.
I don't think there's a way for the Salamagreat player to win. So there's no need for him to put any spells or traps on the board, because the second he does that, you shotgun Babel or shotgun Skeleton to bring out the Ding. Ding will then trigger and burn. So definitely not worth the risk.
They're calling a judge over right now just to determine... For what it's worth, I think this is pretty cut and dry. It's going to be a tie, and both of these players will have their tournament hopes dashed. Unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to see a tie cost 2 players their spot, but sad, afraid.
Sentinel Sean is coming by right now. Otherwise, over. I think we can pretty securely say who made it into Top Cut. It looks like... Oh, wow. Some, but not all X2s made it. So everyone who was X1... I don't think there's any undefeateds. Oh my god. No, there's one undefeated. It hasn't updated for this round yet. Dang it. Okay, we'll know after this one has been tabulated. All right. Looks like we are going to resolve this off screen, but again, pretty cut and dry. Looks as if it is going to be a tie, and neither of these players are going to advance. Unfortunate, but would have been a long shot regardless. We are going to set up Top Cut, and I guess I can reveal right now some of the individuals who will be attending. It looks like it's going to be X-Silenced Undefeated on Guru Dolce, Jason Leonard on Dino, Titcomb on Salamangreat, CX Pentagos on Invoked, Shadow, Drop the Mic 4. We watched them, but I don't remember what they were on. Looks like Salamangreat as well. Blue 3545, who's on Dino. Rim YuGiOh. Dino as well. And shockingly, in 8th place, Musty008 did make it into Top Cut on Chaos Thunder. So best of luck to all of those individuals. We will be back with them momentarily, but I'm just going to let you know we're going to watch the Guru Madolce versus Chaos Thunder game 100%. See you soon, and we will be back momentarily.
Still looking to earn your invite for the...
Hey everyone, if you're enjoying the coverage of the Pro Play Tour online series, just remember, you can play in one yourself. Every Thursday you can enter our free weekly 64-player tournament with invites to the entire Top Cut. Every Saturday is our weekend championship, where you can enter a YCS-type event with 100% payout and even a cash payout option. The more players, the bigger the prizes. Can't commit time to play in our one-day events? We also host multiple 8-man pods daily, ready to fire on demand on your own schedule. All these events award invites to our free invite-only Players Championship with prizes supplied by our sponsors. For more information, visit ppgeventmanagement.com and come play with the pros.